Good afternoon, everyone. Tony Martinez here with Negozi, and we are live once again for another informative webinar, another get together with our members. Today we have a special guests. We have Valerie Heckman with OnPay. Valerie, how's it going?
Hello, hi. It's going well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So happy tax deadline, the tax day, the second tax day. I know it's April 15th, but this is like the tax day V2 for the extension deadline as well. So glad you could be with us here, Valerie. And then thank you for those that are joining, Amanda, Ramona, Enrique, people that are joining as well. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and on the Negozi platform. We're going to record this session so we're able to see it later during the weekend. But today, we're bringing together all these great topics. So first, we have OnPay, which is one of our payroll partners. And then at the end, we're going to bring our friends from TaxDome, talk about tech automation. The reason we want to bring everybody this here so early in the pre-tax season is to get you ready for tax season, right? It's October. I know today's the extension deadline, and those that are here with us are interested in learning about all these great tools and resources that we have. So from what I understand, Valerie, you have a presentation. Let me know when you're ready to share your screen.
Absolutely. All righty, let's see.
Yeah,
Can you see
and if
that?
it, yeah, perfect, perfect. So
Excellent.
today's presentation is how to manage client payroll with OnPay. If you have any questions on the chat, let us know. Or for those of you that are streaming, they're seeing the stream on Facebook or LinkedIn, place it in the comments and we'll be able to answer your questions. So with that said, thank you OnPay for being with us here today. And let's get started. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you. Thank you so much again for having me. So today I will be diving into how to manage client payroll with OnPay. And this webinar is meant to be a demo that really shows you kind of a peek into how the product works, and really teaching you how to partner with us to manage clients on payroll, whether you're an accountant who actually does payroll yourself, or if you just refer clients over, we can support you. I'd love to hear kind of what brings you to today's webinar too. So if you want to add a little something in the chat, that'd be awesome. And I will dive right in here. So for those who don't know me yet, hi, I'm Valerie. My role at OnPay is to build relationships with our accounting and bookkeeping communities and tax communities, both virtually and in person. So if you ever see me out at events and conferences, be sure to say hello. I'm located about an hour outside of Chicago in Naperville, Illinois, and it's really great to be here and dive into this topic. And before we hop into the product itself, I'd really love to set the stage, especially for those of you who maybe haven't heard of OnPay before. So if you're getting to know us, a few things to know. We are a full service payroll solution out of Atlanta, Georgia. And we've really built a partner program designed for accountants, bookkeepers, and advisors to be able to offer really great payroll experiences to your clients. So, like I just mentioned, we give you the option to manage clients' payroll on their behalf, or if you've got clients that you want to work with us directly, you can do that, or kind of somewhere in between, right? If you maybe want to help them get going, get set up, but then hand it over to them to run payroll, you'll still be able to jump in and help out on employee profiles or running it if you need to, and doing things like generating reports and syncing to the accounting software. So today you'll see what it looks like to use OnPay. I'm going to jump into running payroll, reviewing reports, talk a little bit with the time we have around what it looks like to manage settings, and talk about how we integrate with other solutions. So we partner with things like 401k providers and time tracking, as well as the various accounting software. Um, I'll also help you understand the pieces that OnPay takes off your plate. So we are full service. So there's a bunch of things that we do to have your back along the way. And of course, please ask questions throughout as we get going. So our system is really designed for you or your clients to be able to set up workers, run that payroll, hit submit, and then we take care of the rest. So we will handle all of the federal, state, and local tax payments and form filings in all 50 states and anything else that kind of comes up along the way. So you and your team, and especially your clients, are not going to be hung up in that tax compliance work, but you're also not going to have to do things like new hire reporting, W-2 and 1099 NEC prep for any of the workers, employees, or contractors that are paid through OnPay. We'll also handle any payroll corrections that come up, any notices that your clients may get along the way. And everything is fully online, so there's not any concerns about needing to set up elaborate hosting or networking or any of that. You're just going to be able to log in and get to work. The system also has a number of HR tools available. They're built in to really help your clients be able to manage their teams, hire employees, build out org charts, manage things like time off requests. And we also have an in-house benefits team. And this is really great because OnPay works with all the top providers in all 50 states for medical, dental, and vision insurance. And we have licensed brokers in-house that can help your clients get set up with those plans to offer their employees. And one thing to know about OnPay, if you haven't heard of us before, we're really designed around small businesses. So from their first employee up to 500, we can support your clients. But I would say that the majority of folks that are on OnPay are under 50 employees. So we're really designing everything you see here today around small businesses. They may be new to payroll. And our benefits team is part of that. Well, we're used to talking to really small businesses and helping them find plans that work for their team and fit their budget. So I really love that about our team, that we really focus on the small folks. Um, Another thing to know about us, so we, like I said, are designed to serve your clients as they grow. So if they're just starting off with one employee, or maybe they're a single member S Corp, we can certainly support them and help them on payroll, and then be able to support them as they add more workers. But OnPay is also known for how we can handle a variety of different types of niches, different industry types. And that can include some trickier types of businesses. Like, for example, um, agriculture payroll, we can do the 943 filing. We can accommodate H-2A workers. Sometimes there's special exemptions and fringe benefits for businesses like nonprofits or churches and clergy. We can help with those types of business needs. If you have clients that are restaurants, we've got features built in to help with tipping requirements and much more beyond that. We've got some great resources on our website that drill into how we can handle different business types, and some great case studies there as well. Okay, one more thing before I jump into the product. As you partner with us, you get a number of perks as an accounting professional. So you'll have a dashboard where you can manage all of your clients in one spot. If you use QuickBooks or Xero, this is similar to the accountant dashboards there. It allows you to set up those clients if you want to be involved in the onboarding process, as well as indicate if there's any team members that you have. If you're a multi-member firm and you want to assign team members access to clients, you can do that there as well. A couple of pieces on the subscriptions. What's nice about OnPay compared to some providers is we keep it really easy. It's $49 a month base, and then $6 per worker paid per month. So we just add up the number of people that were paid in that month. You could pay them weekly, monthly, semi-monthly, doesn't matter. We just look at how many people were on the payroll. This is also really helpful if you have clients with seasonal businesses. They don't have to worry about activating and deactivating workers because we just look at who was paid. We also offer you discounts and revenue share as you work with us and add more clients. Later on in our time together, I'll talk about a promotion that we have going on right now. If you add clients between now and the end of the year for January payroll, we've got a great incentive there. So we do things like that for our accounting professionals too. And you have flexibility if you want to be billed directly, like if you want us to bill your firm, or if you'd rather have the clients billed and maybe pass along a discount. Every firm is also welcome to use OnPay for your own payroll. So if you want to pay your firm members, you can do that with OnPay. as long as you have one active client with us, which is a great way to try it out yourself and be able to speak to the benefits. But if you don't want to do that, we will give you a test account as well. That is just an area that you can try things out in, and it won't impact any of your clients and won't remove real money. You can play around in that. We call it a sandbox or a test account, so that you can demo out OnPay, maybe show it to some clients, train yourself, train your staff inside of there. Um, okay. Any questions so far before I move forward?
I see some new people have joined us, so bienvenidos.
Hi there,
Welcome, everyone.
welcome.
Yeah, so today's presentation is with our friends at OnPay, and we'll be covering the amazing platform to help your clients. And I'm looking at here, so as you kind of onboard new clients, there's different discounts. And I like how you guys focus on small business owners, because I think a lot of people here have those type of clients. So that's pretty valid.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. I like to say if they're a fit for QuickBooks or Xero, they tend to be a fit for OnPay. And our team is really well versed in drilling into the details of your client's specific needs. And as you see when we get in the, you'll see when we get in the product, there's a lot of things you can turn on and off to configure it to fit special exemptions and different types of deductions and contributions and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
and I do see a question here on LinkedIn briefly. It
sure.
says, do you guys work with restaurant clients?
We do. We do work with restaurant clients, so we have the settings and support for tips. I actually think a lot of folks really like us for restaurants because of the fact that we just look at how many workers are paid each month. You can pay people weekly, and it still
Mm.
keeps it affordable, and you don't have to worry about activating and deactivating folks all the time, especially if, people don't work shifts every single week. And yeah, I've been working with a firm in California that only serves restaurants, and they have all their clients on
Oh,
OnPay. So we tend to be a really great fit. Good
okay,
question.
awesome. Thank you,
Yeah,
Valerie. Go ahead,
of
continue.
course. And speaking of kind of working with our team to figure out if you're a fit, one of the things that we're really known for is how we support the businesses on our platform and the accountants that we partner with along the way. We're very hands-on. We have a dedicated partner team for our accounting professionals that'll help you onboard clients. Again, we'll help you figure out if OnPay is a good fit for a given client. Well, we don't want the wrong clients on OnPay, right? So we'll talk through the scenarios that you need to support, and then help take care of any needs that come up along the way. You and your clients will also be able to call, chat, and email in for support. Everyone has the same access to our great team. And full service onboarding is included for every client. So we don't have extra fees for that. We don't make you upgrade for that. We believe that people need help to get put on the set up on the right foot. And so we do a full service onboarding. So if you're switching from another provider, we will move all of the profile information for employees. We'll move prior payroll history if you're, switching mid-year or even mid-quarter. I'll get into switching a little bit more later on. I know right now people are having a lot of conversations around switching for January. Even if we're doing a fresh start for January 1st, we'll still help make sure that you know everything that's needed to get those states set up correctly, to get the federal and locals, all of that set up correctly, and that your clients are ready to run payroll. Okay, I am going to jump into OnPay itself and go through a demo. So bear with me for a moment while I get myself logged in here and switch screens. Let me make sure you're seeing what I want you to be seeing here. Looks like we
Yeah,
are. Okay, yep, we're in OnPay. Great.
that's great.
Um, Alrighty. Oh, I moved the chat. So when you sign in as an accountant user, you're brought to your firm dashboard. So I'm Valerie. I'm logged into my fictional firm, Easy Accounting Services. And this dashboard is going to show me any upcoming payroll deadlines I have, any information that OnPay might need to set up some of my clients. So looks like we need to do a little bit of e-verification, get some IDs entered in for certain states. I'll talk a little bit about those setup pieces later on. But from here, I can jump into a given client, or like I mentioned earlier, I can manage the members that have access to my clients as well. So I'll just pop into one of my clients for the sake of time, and we'll take a look at what it's like to run payroll. So I'm brought into the client's dashboard. So as an accountant user, I'm going to see everything that the client sees. And if your clients are running their own payroll, we'll give them some reminders here on the dashboard. They'll be able to jump into any recent pay runs, start their next run, see a calendar that shows them when they need to run payroll by and when their check dates will be, if there's any holiday considerations. And like I said, we have some HR tools built in. So if they have any like offer letters out to employees or any of those types of things, they'll show up here too. And then I'm just going to jump right into a pay run to show you what that looks like. So it's a three-step process. I can set up multiple pay schedules and put different employees onto different schedules. Up here, we'll see what I'm working with right now, but we could toggle into a different pay schedule, do some one-time adjustments. If you need to do an off-cycle payroll, that's not a problem here. Running a bonus check or something, that's pretty straightforward. And then I can click into a worker if I need to make any adjustments to the check. If I had hourly workers, this is also where I'll key in their hours, any overtime. We also have integrations with a number of time tracking solutions if your clients are using something to capture time today. What I love is it's really easy to configure the checks as you go. So say that I needed to add an additional pay item. Maybe I need to do a reimbursement on this check. Um, I can select that pay type, add it in, and then key in what I need to enter there to um, add to the paycheck. And then as I go, I can preview the impact that various pay items are having on the check overall. So I'll be able to see, in this case, they're a salary worker. I just added that reimbursement, and we're seeing what the withholding taxes and any deductions that the employee may have. Um, and then down below, I'll also see any of their deductions. I can do overrides if I needed to do a one-time override to their federal or state withholding. I can, of course, do these types of things and add these pay types to the employee profile, but this is what it looks like to kind of make on-the-fly changes as I go. If something's permanent, I might set that up to be recurring. And then I'll just toggle through each of my workers and verify that their pay is set up correctly, make any adjustments as needed. And when I am ready, I can go into the review page, and this will show me a breakdown of what's going on with this payroll. So before I submit, I have the opportunity to really drill into what are the company costs for this payroll, what are the taxes looking like, if I needed to view a specific check, if something looked strange, I can do that, go back and make changes. We also get a nice preview of what the costs and the debits and direct deposit dates and so on will be down below. For direct deposit, we have the option for 2-day direct deposit or 4-day lead times, meaning if they're on 2-day, say that payday is on Friday, we would have until 11:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday to approve payroll, and then it'll process and go into their account on Friday. And then when I am all set, when I've reviewed everything, I can submit. One thing that also happens on the review page, we didn't see it here, but if there are any alerts, like say somebody's hours looked unusually high or unusually low, or something didn't quite look right, we'll flag that and give you the opportunity to review before you submit. And then we're brought to the page that gives us that breakdown. I mentioned direct deposit, but we also do support the printing of checks. We don't do check delivery, but you can print those out and deliver them, or your clients could do that. So I have the opportunity to do that if I had any employees on paper check, or jump into my reports or return to dashboard. Now, something that's happening behind the scenes right now is if I have this account synced up to QuickBooks Online or Zero, the payroll will actually send over automatically. We have really robust mapping settings to tell it where you want those checks to go inside of the books. You've got options to do that summary or in detail, and then you'll get really robust or simple, depending on how you set things up, journal entries inside of QuickBooks or the entries inside of Zero that match up very nicely in the bank feed. We'll do entries for the payroll itself as well as the tax sweep. So one of the things to know about OnPay is when you run payroll, we will sweep for the taxes as well. So we'll pull the funds, and then OnPay will remit those tax payments, the federal, the state, and any local taxes for payroll that your clients may have.
Awesome. And as you show that, Valerie, I'm going to
Yeah,
launch a quick polling question.
sure.
And para la gente que nos está escuchando, la pregunta, the question is, do you have payroll clients right now? Do you offer payroll services to your clients? Let us know briefly, and that we could get a good gauge.
Excellent. Yeah.
And yeah, that we could, but go ahead, Valerie, continue. And I'll share the results in a minute right now with you.
No, no problem. I know I only have so much airtime, so I want to show you just a couple of things in OnPay before we wrap up. So I mentioned before that we can pay employees and contractors. The pay workflow is the same, so you don't have to teach your clients two separate workflows, or you or your team don't have to learn two ways of doing it. But you still have individual menus for your employee and contractor lists. And our settings are very robust. So you can drill into a given worker's profile, and there's a ton of stuff in here that you can configure to fit the needs of the client. So we were talking earlier about restaurants, right? We can indicate part-time, seasonal, if they have tips. Um, Setting up the wages will automatically accommodate for what those requirements are in a given state for tips. Uh, Easy to set up your compensation types, your deductions, if you have ongoing pay types, garnishments, contributions, 401ks, all of those types of things are really easy to configure. And we can do that, of course, at the worker level, and then there's a ton of settings at the company level as well to fit the needs of the client and their preferences and the requirements that they may have for the type of entity they're in. Um, the mapping to the accounting software exists in here. I mentioned QBO and Zero, but we can also do an IIF file for QuickBooks Desktop. If you go into company in our app directory, you'll see a full range of the integrations and partnerships that we have. So everything from 401k, workers' compensation, Jazz HR to help with recruiting and hiring talent, Middesk for state tax registrations. So they'll take that step off your plate if you need to get clients registered in different states. So a wide range of things that we can integrate with. And what I love is we've really curated a great technology stack around payroll and benefits that most of these have an accountant program or some kind of workflow to help you provide these things to your clients as well, which I think is really nice. So it's a great list and things integrate really nicely. Um, One more quick thing, when it comes to reporting, we've got a robust set of options here. If I go into the reporting overview, you've got some visuals and some descriptions of some of the most popular reports. But if I drill into something like a payroll register, you'll see that it's showing me the most recent check run. I can drill into the details, but we do a nice job at breaking out what's happening behind the scenes with the tax withholding, deductions and contributions, totaling it up for you. All of our reports you can filter, narrow down for specific date ranges, and then open those in Excel or save them to a PDF as well. And I would say that probably the payroll register, the payroll summary tend to be popular, but you can drill into a number of different things, workers' comp, retirement, Um, you'll be able to set up employees by locations and departments if you have those as well, and even job positions to narrow some reports in that way too. Okay, I could probably click around on a ton more things, but I did want to tell you a little bit about our onboarding workflow because especially this time of year, we tend to get a lot of questions about that. But before I do, I mentioned that we have a special offer. Um, we just launched this at the beginning of October, and the way that this works is if you are an accounting professional and you add a clients onto OnPay, you can unlock some rewards with us. So we'll give you a partner dashboard. That's a free account to set up. You can test things out in the sandbox test account environment, or like I said, set up yourself and your firm to run payroll with us. But if you set up clients, we'll handle any migration to get them up and running. And if you add 3 clients and run payroll by the end of January, you unlock a $1,000 reward. And then $200 for each additional client up to $10,000. So there's some real perks to moving some clients to OnPay with us this year-end season. And I wanted to just share a little bit around what that process looks like with us. So inside of that dashboard, you'll have the option to enroll a client. And when you enroll a client, we take you through kind of a 7-step process just to capture the necessary information around that client and what they have going on relevant to payroll. So we'll ask about their industry type. We'll ask when you need to run your first payroll and OnPay by, some details about their banking information to get that process up and running, not only for direct deposit, but also for their tax payments, since we'll be handling those. And really, it's just getting all the owner officer information in there to set things up. And then once you submit that, we will assign a dedicated onboarding specialist to you. And what's great about that is they will send you a checklist that covers everything we need to get that client set up for tax compliance. One great thing in OnPay is we don't charge extra for multi-state. So we can set up the payroll tax filings in as many states as your clients need, which can be super helpful if they have remote workers or commuters across state lines, or multiple offices, of course. Um, yeah, we'll walk through everything that's needed for each state to get them up and running, keep you organized, and make sure that your clients are really set up and ready to go. If you are doing a mid-year switch or a mid-quarter switch, we will ask for the prior payrolls, right? Maybe you're talking to a client, but they don't want to get started until the end of January. That's okay. We would ask for, whatever's happened so far this year. Or even if someone wanted to switch right now and start running payroll and OnPay in November or something, like we could get the reports for the entire year into OnPay, get them up and running for year-to-date payroll, and set that up for you. So our onboarding team will work with you to collect whatever we need based on what you've told us about what the goals are for this client. And then once the account is ready to go, we'll let you know that it's payroll ready and your clients can start running payroll. Now, I often get questions, well, what if the client is still getting set up in a state and they don't have their tax ID yet, or they don't have their rates yet? That's okay. It won't hold them back from starting to run payroll. Once we get the history or the payroll profiles set up for the employees and contractors, they can start running payroll, and then we'll start to ask for those things to make sure that the tax payments can be paid and filed on time. So we can get that even after they've started running payroll with us. But of course, we need that to make them tax compliant. So we will help you along with that as well. And yeah, a little bit of a recap as I close out. I did see a question come through. So before I dive into that, do you work with agriculture businesses that are paid by piecework? That is something that we've got a way of supporting in most cases. I'm going to say the classic accounting line, it depends. But we have worked with clients that do that. It's a matter of setting up kind of a pay rate the right way to accomplish that. But I have an article about that. So if you want to connect with us, I can pass some information along on how that works in OnPay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Great
share
question.
no, yeah, that's a great question. I know Candy, she's in the state of Washington in an area where there's a lot of agricultural clients, and so I'm glad
Oh,
that
sure.
OnPay could help Candy
Yeah,
with that
I hope so. Oh, it
as
looks like
well.
most of you have payroll clients. That's great.
Yeah, so a lot of people have payroll clients, so that's good. And then some people said not yet. So this morning, actually, I spoke with one of our members from Texas, and she was saying that she currently uses QuickBooks Payroll, I think.
Okay.
And I know QuickBooks has like a lot of different products, but she was wondering if she uses QuickBooks Payroll, could she switch to OnPay but still keep QuickBooks for accounting software? Is that
Oh,
right?
yes. Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, so QuickBooks has payroll built in, whether you're in the online or the desktop, but you don't have to use that. So if that's not turned on, or if they, kind of canceled out that part of their subscription, yes, you absolutely can use OnPay. And how it works, let me just jump into a little taste of what this looks like.
Yeah, and it's good. I like
Um,
when there's questions because it kind of brings it makes the presentation dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, this one's connected up to QuickBooks Desktop, but the online connection will look very similar. And essentially, you're just telling us, do you want to bring it over in detail or summary? And then where is everything going to go? So this will pull in the case of QuickBooks Online, it'll pull in the chart of accounts from QuickBooks. So you can tell it if you're doing department tracking, if you've got a bunch of deductions and contributions, like where you want all those things to go. Um, or
Mm,
you can do it kind of at
yes.
a higher level and just tell it, I want this to hit the payroll liability account, the payroll uh, expense accounts. Like we can map all of those things up. And then after you run payroll, it syncs automatically. So those transactions will land inside of, if they're using QuickBooks Online, inside of QBO as journal entries for the payroll itself, and then um, the tax payments, and then all of that matches up really nicely in the bank feed when those come through as transactions.
Oh,
Great
that's
questions.
amazing. And
Yeah,
you know
so that
what?
can all be mapped up.
I like asking as you continue. I like asking questions during the the webinar, makes it interactive. So I'm gonna ask a question to the audience. Una pregunta.
Sure.
Is anyone interested in taking a QuickBooks class? Is anybody interested in QuickBooks training? Let us know. Yes, sí. ¿Cuándo es la próxima? Yes, when is the next one? Or maybe tell me more. That way we can kind of gauge the interest. I know our members overall, they're very hungry for knowledge. So
That's
I'm curious
great.
to see
Yeah.
when that
Yeah,
is.
and I would say that the ma majority of folks that use OnPay are using QuickBooks products or Zero.
Ah, or zero,
So yes, so
yeah.
they tend to be a great fit. And there are some advantages to using a payroll system that's separate from the accounting system as well. You can have a bit more control over when that data syncs over. Maybe you don't want to do the automatic sync. We can do a manual push instead. So that gives you a little bit extra control. Being able to have different users in different systems is sometimes helpful as well. And there are some business types or business scenarios that we support that QuickBooks doesn't. I know our pricing model works a little bit differently too. So we're always happy to talk through what those differences are and what's going to be the right fit for you and your clients.
Yeah. And
So
I
yeah.
see 90% of people said yes. When is the next QuickBooks
Oh,
training
nice.
class?
Very
And
nice. Very
so,
nice.
also, the reason I asked that is because um, one of our colleagues, Vanessa Vasquez, gives QuickBooks classes. So, la gente que conoce a Vanessa Vasquez cada mes da una clase. Every month she gives a training on QuickBooks. So, I'll speak with Vanessa. Maybe in a future training, she can incorporate on-pay payroll into the QuickBooks training class that she does. That way, people
Oh,
could see
nice.
how they interact. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I know Vanessa well. She's wonderful. I think I'll be seeing her in a few weeks, actually. So that's awesome. And yeah, always happy to chat with her too about how those integration settings work with QuickBooks to get the data in a way that's most helpful for y'all. Okay, well, I have just a little bit of a recap here.
Yeah, please, please.
So yeah, so our partner program is really designed to make running payroll easy for you, to really reduce that manual work that can slow you down. So a lot of what's included in our subscription is taking care of those compliance pieces so that you have freed up time to support your clients. We do a lot to help our accounting professionals really understand what's going on when it comes to payroll and benefits compliance as well. So we'll have a lot of tools and resources for you to support those clients, but we do a lot of the heavy lifting to get those payments made and those taxes filed so that you have capacity for other work. Um, like we've just talked about, allowing you to really automate and integrate things beyond payroll, whether that's having it integrate with the accounting system or with some of the benefits or time tracking solutions or hiring solutions that are out there. We try and really streamline that technology stack for you. And if you're not doing payroll, I know about a third of you said you're not doing payroll yet today. It can be a way to grow your revenue. So I mentioned we do the revenue share. We have things like our offer where you can get some additional bonus cash for moving clients. And then hopefully it's minimal work for you to get the clients up and running and leverage our resources to support them. And it tends to be lower cost than using a tool that's a bit more manual and requires your team to do a lot of that work. Um, and then supporting you and your clients every step of the way. So whether it's questions around what OnPay can handle, questions that they may have as they're running payroll, or if you're running payroll for them, we really try and keep a ton of resources available to you, the dedicated partner support, the dedicated onboarding when things are getting up and running. And then we look for opportunities like this to get out in the community and today we're showing off the product, but also teach different topics related to payroll and helping your clients. So very glad to be here today. Um, I'm sure we can drop this link in the chat. We have a partner page for our partnership with Negozi. So as members, we certainly want to support you even more than we do any accountants. So please feel free to lean into us for more help or to learn more about OnPay. And like I mentioned, we can always talk through some specific business types that you support or needs that you may have. Oh, somebody said, can you repeat the monthly cost again? Yes. So OnPay is $49 a month and then $6 per worker paid per month. So we'll add up the employees you have. And actually, here, let me show you this. On
Yeah,
our
because
website,
we
we
have
have
time,
a
Valerie. So go ahead and do your thing. We have like 10 more minutes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
sure if you needed to jump right into TaxDome.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
so
no.
on our website we show that here, and you can even use this slider to indicate like the number of employees and see what that price is. But we also have a page for accountants, which I think you'll get to through your Negozi link as well, and that'll show you what it kind of looks like discount wise as you add more clients. So as soon as you have 3 clients with us, you get a 10% discount. And we have a pricing page here too, where you can kind of look at this holistically across clients if you're, maybe wanting to consider moving like 3 or 4 clients at once and how many workers they have across the clients. And if that's billed to the firm or client billed as well. So lots of resources on our site. We have, in addition to kind of the breakdown of different types of industries or different business sizes, we've got great info there. There's some comparison charts where you can look at kind of feature by feature what things look like with OnPay. And our accountant page also has some great educational resources as well related to payroll. So I hope this was helpful for you all today.
Yeah, thank you so much. And there's another question here from our colleague Ramona Coronel.
Sure.
She's asking, what if the employee does not have a social security number or the business owner? Do you guys work with like foreign
Ooh,
uh
good question.
business people?
I know we can work with the H2A. ITINs You know what? I am not 100% sure off the top of my head, to be honest, but I can find
Mhm.
out and share that information back. So I'll grab your email address. Um, I should know this, but it's hard. I don't want to misspeak. So I will look into that and let you know.
Yeah, no, no worries. And let's see. I think there is. I wanted to do another polling question.
Sure.
Do you see a polling question there?
I'm still seeing the QuickBooks one on my side.
Oh, are you? Okay, I know. Thank you. I knew I had to have to finish it. QuickBooks. Okay, here we go. QuickBooks, stop sharing. There we go. And then now. Yeah. So the last question, última pregunta for our friends at OnPay is, would you like a follow-up with Valerie and her team? Let us know si quieres una consulta, si tienes preguntas about the OnPay dashboard on how they work with small business owners, on how they could help you agricultural clients. Could you explain a little bit more about the agricultural industry you guys serve, Valerie? Because I know some of our members serve that industry.
Absolutely. So that is one that I find that for small business, it can be a little tricky to find a payroll solution that does it. So I'll pull this up on our site. So we will handle the 943 specific form for agriculture um, businesses, for farms and agriculture businesses. They tend to need to do a 943 for those farm workers. If they have the need for both, like say it's a farm where they have like a store and the agriculture workers, they've got like retail workers, we can do the 941 and 943. If they have H2A workers, we can support that. So we tend to be a good fit for those types of businesses. And being able to set up the individual settings to support um, any tax types and things that they may have that are a little different. Um, so that's a great question.
Mhm. Awesome. No, thank you so much. And I see here, some people did respond. They want to follow up with you and Ethan. I think Ethan's gonna call him, right? Valerie, you said?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. So I mentioned I will be at some events and conferences over the next 3 weeks. So Ethan from my team, chances are it'll be him that follows up with you or one of our other team members. And we can do a demo, deep dive into more of what I showed today. I just scratched the surface. I really only showed you running payroll and a little bit of the reports, but they can dive in deeper into those features, talk about specific settings that you may have needs for, and see what would be a good fit for you all. Of
Yeah.
course, help you with getting a test account set up or onboarding some clients.
Awesome. And I do see another question here on our YouTube stream. So that's
Sure.
cool. We have viewers on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook right now. And somebody on YouTube is saying, I just helped a small business become an S corp, and that owner needs to be on payroll. Could you help? Do you help S corp owners be on payroll?
We do. And actually, we have for our accounting partners, we do have an S Corp single member pricing option
Ooh.
where we essentially, and this can depend on the client. If the client doesn't need to pay themselves every month, like maybe they want to pay
Mm,
quarterly,
yeah.
we'll discount the months that they don't have payroll. And if they've got a whole quarter or 2 quarters or whatever that they don't run payroll, we'll still do the $0 returns. But that can be helpful too. So they get a break on the months that they don't have run payroll, but we'll still keep the account going for them. So yes, we tend to have a lot of single member S corps or S corps in general on pay. So yes, even if they only have one worker, that's okay. We can get them up and running. We also partner with RC Reports. If you haven't heard of RC Reports, they're a great tool for
Hmm.
doing reasonable compensation reporting.
Oh, okay.
So rather than having to
Hmm.
fill out all those forms by hand and kind of figure out what the reasonable compensation will be, they have a really nice guided interview that helps accounting professionals offer reasonable compensation analysis to their clients. So that can be a great option for those of you who serve S corps to help them figure out their reasonable comp, and then of course get that set
Oh.
up as ongoing payroll inside of OnPay.
See, this is great. I always say every session you kind of learn something, a little nugget. And I'm looking at here RC reports. I didn't know they existed. I just found them. I'm gonna share my screen briefly, Valerie, so
Sure.
people can kind of see. Well, yeah, because I'm asking on the next polling question, do you have any S Corp clients? Just kind of curious. And results are coming in. I'm seeing 30% say yes, many. 30% say some and 40% not really. So nice mix of
Oh,
S
nice.
Corp clients. Yeah, I don't think you could see it yet because I haven't shared the results, but I'm seeing it here. And yeah, and this is RC reports here, right? What you were saying.
Yeah, yeah. So we work with their team. They're great. Actually, I also have, I'll share this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna stop.
This
You
is
want to
our
share?
special pricing for S Corp clients.
Okay,
So
go
it's a
ahead and
20,
okay.
oh, did
Oh
it
yeah,
share it? There we
no,
go.
yeah, it is. Go ahead. Okay.
So it's $20 a month base and then $26 a month. Any month payroll is processed. So it's designed for those single member S Corps, to if they don't have payroll every single month. Now, some of them might, and they'd be better off to be on the, maybe the regular plan. But if they don't
Mm-hmm,
run
mm-hmm.
payroll every month, it kind of keeps that account active, keeps the tax compliance going, but gives them a little bit of a break on the months they don't have payroll. So I'm glad somebody asked about S corps. That's a great question.
Yeah, no, this is it's always like certain questions that open up a nice can of worms in a nice way because then it adds more questions and more Q&As.
Sure.
All right. But Valerie, thank you so much. That was very informative. I see a lot of interaction here with our group. People, about 5 people were asking for a follow-up. So I'll send that over to you and Riley. You guys could have that information, give them a call. And then I see some feedback on people who have S Corps and QuickBooks training and all that good stuff. It gives us a good understanding of our audience. For sure. And then also, Valerie, we're gonna be working with OnPay in the next month or so. So you may see more emails coming up. We're gonna invite them to another Wake Up Call Friday and maybe another Zoom. I know, like we were saying, for it being the extension deadline, we do have a nice crowd here that is really active. It looks like they're entrepreneurs, right? They're really getting ready for tax season. So that's great, Valerie.
Wonderful. Yeah, and if there, I know Tony and I were talking about possible topics. So let us know if you're
Mm.
interested in topics around adding payroll as a service, if you're interested in topics around switching, like what do you need to know to be able to switch somebody from one payroll system to another? Like how do you best prepare not just the data, but also like the client conversations. Like, how do you make that a really nice onboarding experience for your clients if you're involved in that work? Um, happy to think through if you want things on specific industries. We've got some great educational content already prepared, but we can also build other things. So let us know what types of education you're looking for, and happy to figure that out.
Yeah, well, thank you so much once again. Oh, actually, one last thing before I let everybody go, and it just take 1 second. OnPay has a group on our platform. So if you have a Negozi profile, join the OnPay group, and Valerie will be on here adding a lot of great articles. You can see this recording that we just did is live on the OnPay group already. So we're actually streaming it right into the group. So if you have an employee who couldn't make it, or a colleague or a boss who's like, hey, they're super busy, have them join the Negozi OnPay group on the Negozi platform. They could see the recording here. And then up here, we could even, if it's allowed, we could even upload your slides for today here, Valerie, and then people could see your slides and see photos. And I think there's some cool. There you go. See, there you are in action.
Yeah,
Awesome.
this was at an event last week. So, yes, and forgive me, this is a little light. We'll get some more stuff in here. We just set it up. So,
Yeah, all good.
join in and we'll post some good stuff here soon.
And I'm gonna add it here on the chat. Join the OnPay group, and then you'll get information. Thank you, Valerie, so much. Thank you, Riley. Thanks, OnPay. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me today. You all have a good one and have a good rest of the week.
Awesome. Talk soon. Have a good day. With that said, thank you, OnPay. Le voy a pasar la voz. I'm gonna pass the mic to our friend and colleague, el señor Antonio Quintero. Antonio va a presentar nuestro siguiente invitado de TaxDome para que nos dé más. Hola, Antonio, ¿cómo estás?
Muchas gracias, Tony. Muchas gracias a Valvi también. Y muchas gracias a OnPay por estar aquí con nosotros. Un saludo para todos nuestros negociantes, nuestra comunidad, aquí en esta tarde de tecnología para negocios. Y muy contentos porque, Tony, estamos trayendo soluciones, herramientas, tecnología para todos los dueños de negocio. Y bueno, en esta ocasión queremos presentar algo bien interesante y muchos ya lo conocen, muchos ya lo usan, pero hay muchos que lo necesitan por lo que nos dicen. Nos preguntan, ¿cómo puedo yo organizar los procesos en mi negocio? ¿Cómo puedo sistematizar todo? Y yo creo que uno de los primeros pasos es tener una plataforma, ¿no? Un CRM que les pueda ayudar. Y bueno, por aquí está nuestro amigo Frankie Quintero, ya llegó por aquí, creo que ya está. Y también vi por allí también el equipo de TaxDome, bueno, creo que se van a unir, pero bueno, por aquí está Frankie Quintero. No somos familia, tal vez sí, pero tenemos el mismo apellido. Frankie, ¿cómo estás? Buenas tardes, bienvenido a Negocio.
Muy bien, sí, y siempre te digo tocayo cuando nos toca convivir, pero ya ha pasado un año, ¿no? Desde la última vez que tuvimos el placer de
Sí,
coincidir.
sí, sí, sí.
Em, Fíjate que entré y estaba viendo la presentación en inglés eh, y, y me asusté porque yo había preparado la presentación en español. Dije, yo sé que la comunidad de negocios hispanohablante, entonces siempre trato que el material sea en español, porque sé que somos una comunidad hispanohablante. Así que van a ver un mix ahí de algunos slides en inglés y otros en español, porque mientras estaba hablando estaba tratando de cambiar todo en inglés, porque dije, no sé si haya cambiado el formato, pero siempre las presentaciones por lo general las hacemos en español para la comunidad de negocio. Eh,
Claro que sí.
pues sin más
Ah,
preámbulo, voy a empezar a hacer la presentación. De nueva cuenta, pues es un placer estar con ustedes el día de hoy. Realmente, pues esta comunidad es una comunidad que para mí es una comunidad muy especial. Yo empecé con TaxDome y empecé a trabajar con negocio directamente y siempre me ha tocado a mí pues estar un poco apegado más a la comunidad de negocio. Entonces siempre es un placer poder coincidir. Como decía mi tocayo Antonio, muchos ya nos conocen, muchos ya saben qué es lo que nosotros podemos brindar para cada uno de ustedes, ¿no? Y dije yo, bueno, ¿cómo podemos hacer esta presentación un poco diferente? Las otras presentaciones en las que hemos estado presentes siempre es pues hablar del CRM, del portal de los clientes. Ustedes ya saben que ofrecemos todo eso. Entonces dije yo, para mí es importante volver a reconectar con esta comunidad tan especial para mí y poderles decir qué es lo nuevo, qué es lo que sigue. Porque la tecnología constantemente está evolucionando y junto con ella nosotros también tenemos que evolucionar. Entonces quería presentarles el día de hoy todas las herramientas nuevas que hemos implementado este año para poder seguir contribuyendo con ustedes. Lo mismo que tenemos y lo existente ha mejorado, pero aún así hemos lanzado nuevas herramientas. Entonces, por eso el título de la presentación es, pues, transforma tu firma con, pues, todas nuestras recientes herramientas, ¿no? Y la importancia de esto. Pues la mayoría ya me conoce. Mi nombre es Francisco Quintero. De cariño, mis amigos me dicen Frankie. Ustedes me pueden decir como ustedes gusten. Pues yo he trabajado con TaxDome ya pues aproximadamente 3 años. Soy Senior Account Executive aquí con la compañía y he trabajado pues con miles de firmas y he ayudado a miles de firmas a poder implementar TaxDome para sus compañías y obviamente ayudarlos a elegir la mejor herramienta para ellos también. Eh, Ahora, nuestro plan del día de hoy, de lo que vamos a estar hablando, es acerca de las nuevas herramientas que tenemos. Una de ellas, de las herramientas que a mí más me emociona hablar, son los paquetes o en los contratos. Esto es muy importante porque muchísimas veces, y se los digo con cariño, estamos haciendo muchas cosas gratis. Entonces nosotros también tenemos que buscar cómo podemos tener un mejor return of investment para cada una de nuestras firmas. Y TaxDome lanzó los paquetes dentro de los contratos para poderlos ayudar a ustedes, para poder tener un mayor crecimiento. E incluso si tu ideología no es crecer tu firma, sino más bien con los clientes que ya tienes, poder crecer la cantidad de dinero que tú estás haciendo anualmente, con esto lo puedes llegar a hacer a cabo. También tenemos muchísimas nuevas herramientas que están guiadas a nuestros clientes que ofrecen bookkeeping. Y algo muy emocionante también es que ya próximamente vamos a lanzar TaxDome Payments. Anteriormente, pues nosotros nos integramos con CPA Charge y con Stripe. Esas integraciones van a seguir existiendo, pero ahora vamos a lanzar TaxDome Payments para que ustedes puedan pagar directamente con nuestro procesador sin tener que utilizar algún procesador externo. Obviamente, con esto pues vienen mejores precios para ustedes, mejores processing fees, viene con un beneficio, ¿no? Y ya por último, pues vamos a hacer algunas preguntas, cualquier cosa que tengan, ya saben que a mí me gusta que esto sea muy dinámico, para que puedan hacer pues preguntas, cualquier cosa en lo que les pueda ayudar. También les voy a compartir un link. Este link se los va a compartir para que ustedes puedan agendar una demostración conmigo. Es conmigo directamente, entonces, pues para que yo los pueda guiar y enseñarles cómo TaxDome puede ayudarlos en su firma, ¿no? Porque pues cada firma es diferente y cada firma se trata como un caso diferente. Entonces ahí les acabo de compartir el link por el chat para que ustedes puedan agendar su demostración directamente conmigo. Bueno, entonces, sin más preámbulo, quiero hablarles un poco acerca de los engagement letters y los packages que acabamos de lanzar. Como pueden ver, aquí hay pues 3 paquetes diferentes, ¿no? Que eso fue lo que yo les puse aquí como un ejemplo. Y el ejemplo que a mí me encanta darles a los clientes, especialmente cuando me dicen, bueno, ¿a qué te refieres por un paquete, no? Muchas veces dentro de nuestras firmas no tenemos en sí una organización, ¿no? Y eso nos lleva a nosotros a hacer muchísimas cosas por las cuales deberíamos de estar cobrando. Entonces, el mejor ejemplo que yo puedo poner es, por ejemplo, tenemos el paquete dorado, el paquete plata y el paquete bronce. En el paquete dorado vamos a ofrecerte el servicio más premium. Te vamos a ofrecer servicio al cliente premium. Te vamos a ofrecer una contestación dentro de 24 a 48 horas. Pero si tú eliges este paquete, tiene un costo extra de $50. Ahora, al cliente no lo estás forzando a hacer absolutamente nada. Les estás mostrando los paquetes que tú tienes disponibles. Si tú no quieres la atención personalizada, sin problema, elige el paquete bronce. Pero en el paquete bronce yo no me puedo comprometer a contestarte cada 24 a 48 horas. Mi compromiso contigo es contestarte cada 5 días. Ahora, yo como cliente me conozco mejor que nadie. Y yo voy a decir, no, yo necesito que me contesten ya. Entonces el mismo cliente toma la decisión y toma esa decisión que a ti te atrae, que trae más dinero. Entonces, ese es un ejemplo muy básico, muy básico. Hay muchísimas cosas que nosotros hacemos internamente. Nosotros nos conocemos mejor, conocemos nuestro negocio mejor que nadie. Entonces, podemos en sí crear paquetes dentro de nuestro sistema. Ahora, esto no existía anteriormente. Entonces, el cliente al momento de usar nuestro CRM, de usar nuestro portal, al momento de firmar el contrato, va a poder ver los diferentes paquetes que tú ofreces y en base a ese paquete y conociéndose a él mismo, puede elegir el plan que ellos piensen que mejor les vaya a convenir. Ahora, esto a ustedes les puede atraer no solamente orden, pero muchísimo más dinero, porque como les comentaba, a veces nosotros somos demasiados buenos y tenemos a los clientes un poquito, eh, pues, cómo se dirían coloquialmente en México, un poquito eh, malcriados, ¿no? Los tenemos un poquito consentidos, para usar una palabra más bonita. Y los queremos seguir consintiendo, pero también queremos que esto a nosotros nos atraiga pues un valor monetario, porque su tiempo vale muchísimo. Entonces, por eso creamos esta nueva estructura que ustedes lo mandan junto con el contrato. El cliente puede revisar los planes y ya de acuerdo a eso, el cliente incluso puede pagar dentro del contrato. Porque el contrato, nosotros ofrecemos un depósito o un porcentaje de cobro al iniciar nuestro servicio, nosotros lo podemos incluir dentro del contrato. Entonces, el cliente no solamente elige el plan, el cliente paga, el cliente firma en un solo paso. Entonces, esta herramienta pues nos brinda muchísima facilidad, no solo administrativa, pero también monetaria. Y esa es una de las facilidades que les queríamos presentar el día de hoy. Ahora, como les comentaba, aquí pues hay diferentes tipos de planes, ¿no? Pues podemos ofrecer el plan bronce, el plan plata, el plan dorado, ¿no? Y esto pues previene que ustedes no estén haciendo trabajo extra definiendo claramente qué es lo que ofrece cada servicio. El paquete ya se los muestra a los clientes. Cada nivel va a crear una expectativa clara de lo que se va a incluir y lo que no se va a incluir. Entonces, esto va a ayudar que tu firma crezca, que todo esté administrativamente más claro y que el cliente tenga una mejor experiencia al poder elegir, firmar y pagar dentro de un solo contrato. Ahora, que quisiera aquí pues quise abrir un tema de discusión de si estamos cobrando por el valor real de nuestro trabajo, porque muchos despachos ofrecen atención personalizada o soporte adicional o servicios fuera de alcance del contrato sin darse cuenta, que es lo que les estaba mencionando. Entonces, pues ¿cuántas veces, es una pregunta para ustedes, hemos hecho tareas adicionales sin cobrarlas por medio a perder a un cliente? ¿O qué beneficios tendrá para tu firma ofrecer opciones claras en lugar de un único plan general? ¿Cómo reaccionarían nuestros clientes si pudieran elegir un nivel de servicio que mejor se adapta a sus necesidades? ¿Y qué servicio o tareas actuales podrían incluir un plan superior como el oro para que representen ingresos adicionales? Esta es una pregunta para ustedes. Y realmente, miren, o sea, esta pregunta tiene muchos decibeles, ¿no? Me emociono yo aquí un poco con este tema, pero tiene muchos decibeles porque, por ejemplo, si yo estoy buscando, ¿no? A un contador y yo pongo contador cerca de mí en Google, ¿no? Y me aparece Antonio, ¿no? Voy a usar a mi tocayo como ejemplo. Ahora, yo veo el website de Antonio y dice, pues yo hago todo. Muy bien, pero a lo mejor yo tengo una necesidad en específico que yo estoy buscando y si veo algo tan generalizado, yo voy a decir, no, pero es que yo estoy buscando un especialista en esto. ¿Me entiendes? Antonio hace todo, pero ¿qué tan bien lo hace? Ahora, si Antonio tiene una estructura y dice, yo hago esto, pero aparte de hacer esto, yo te puedo ofrecer esto y esto, yo voy a decir, bueno, Antonio no solamente ofrece el servicio, Antonio tiene diferentes niveles y si yo estoy buscando, tengo una situación complicada, lo ofrece en su plan dorado, entonces él es un especialista en ese tema. Entonces no solamente es para que tú puedas cobrar más o para que administrativamente todo sea más claro, también es para que tu misma firma puedas tú llegar a tener una comunicación más clara y así formar un nivel de prestigio, porque actualmente al momento de nosotros analizar diferentes proveedores o analizar diferentes compañías, e incluso vemos, ok, esta compañía tiene la seguridad de que en 15 minutos me llega mi orden, por así decirlo, entonces voy con ellos porque sé que es más rápido. Entonces, qué te hace diferente a ti? Eso también te puede ayudar muchísimo a que tú atraigas más clientela si tú estás buscando crecer también. Entonces es un tema que lleva muchísimos decibeles y lo estoy tocando así rapidito porque sé que tenemos el tiempo limitado, pero como les comenté, si les interesa una demostración personal, aquí en el chat les estoy dejando mi link para que ustedes puedan agendar una sesión conmigo. Ahora, también les quiero hablar acerca de las nuevas funciones de bookkeeping que tenemos. Estas funciones pues son totalmente gratuitas porque como ustedes saben, TaxDome no cobra por funcionalidades. No somos como otros CRMs que te cobran por ciertos clientes por funcionalidades. Nosotros simplemente cobramos por la licencia del software. Entonces, este año nosotros dijimos, bueno, tenemos muchísimas buenas funcionalidades, pero nos estamos quedando un poco atrás cuando se trata de bookkeeping, ¿no? Entonces, por eso decidimos agregar estas nuevas integraciones. Una de las principales es la integración directa con el libro, con el General Ledger. de los clientes, ¿no? Para que puedas ver y gestionar las transacciones contables directamente desde el libro mayor del cliente dentro de TaxDome sin necesidad de cambiar entre plataformas. Y también creamos el Bookkeeping Hub, que es un espacio dedicado para centralizar el trabajo recurrente de la contabilidad, permitiendo mantener los flujos contables consistentes sin cargos por cliente. Por ejemplo, Bookkeeping, pues es un servicio que tiene una recurrencia, ¿no? Tiene una recurrencia mensual por lo general. Entonces, pudimos adaptarlo para que sea un servicio de flujo recurrente. Y el manejo de las transacciones no categorizadas. Esto es un servicio que se cobra, pues si ustedes conocen otras plataformas, no voy a decir nombres, pero pues te cobran aproximadamente 10 o 15 dólares por cliente por hacer esto. Nosotros lo vamos a hacer totalmente gratis. Y es lo que a esto se refiere, es que cuando hay transacciones que no están clasificadas o tienen dudas, puedes preguntar al cliente directamente desde TaxDome. El sistema automáticamente va a analizar las transacciones, va a ver cuáles son las transacciones no categorizadas, automáticamente las va a hacer flag y se las va a mandar al cliente para que el cliente pueda decir cuáles fueron esas transacciones y así directamente esta información se pueda traspasar a QuickBooks, que es la siguiente integración que tuvimos, que es la sincronización automática con QuickBooks Online, para que todo lo que se modifique dentro de TaxDome también se sincronice de vuelta a QuickBooks Online, lo que va a reducir tu trabajo manual muchísimo, porque la mayoría del trabajo que se hace de bookkeeping, por eso los contadores le huyen a bookkeeping, dicen, no, yo nada más le hago bookkeeping a unos clientes, a 5 clientes, a 6 clientes, porque es muchísimo trabajo, sinceramente es muchísimo trabajo, y es muchísimo trabajo manual, que es lo que pesa más, ¿no? Entonces, el tener una plataforma que te ayude a hacer todo esto automáticamente, incluso hasta te da porque como todos le corren a bookkeeping, hay muchísimo campo laboral dentro de ese específico servicio, porque nadie quiere hacerlo. Entonces, al momento de tú poder tener una herramienta que te ayude a automatizar las transacciones, a incluso mandarle las transacciones a clientes no reconocidas para que el cliente las pueda llenar y eso mismo se integre a QuickBooks, ahí ya no tienes que hacer nada de trabajo manual tú. Entonces, esas son una de las funcionalidades que nosotros estamos lanzando y las otras funcionalidades ya van directamente al flujo de trabajo, las cuales ustedes ya conocen, que son las automatizaciones, mandar los contratos, los correos electrónicos, todas esas automatizaciones que ya tiene TaxDome, ¿no? Entonces, lo que sigue, pues viene siendo TaxDome Payments, ¿no? Que es algo que nos emociona muchísimo poderles compartir. Actualmente, pues nosotros nos integramos con Stripe y con CPA Charge. Vamos a seguirnos integrando con ellos, no se asusten si ya nos están utilizando y están utilizando Stripe o CPA Charge, van a poder continuar utilizando Stripe y CPA Charge. Obviamente, esto es con el fin de beneficiar a nuestros clientes, porque hay muchos de nuestros clientes que pues no quieren utilizar ni Stripe ni CPA Charge y ellos tienen sus razones personales y simplemente no lo quieren hacer. Y se respeta. Entonces, por eso nosotros tenemos que dar una alternativa, porque si algo no nos gusta a nosotros es que nuestro cliente se sienta básicamente forzado a utilizar algo. Entonces, es por eso que nosotros lanzamos TaxDome Payments, para que el cliente pueda pagar a través de nuestro propio procesador de pagos y obviamente con esto van a haber bastantes beneficios. O sea, uno de los beneficios es que pues obviamente los processing fees van a ser muchísimo más bajos. TaxDome Payments, les voy a ser muy honestos, TaxDome Payments posiblemente no se lance hasta probablemente fin de año, ¿ok? Y esto es porque nosotros queremos que trabaje de la mejor manera posible. Pero pues ya tenemos actualmente procesadores de pago y todas las funcionalidades se van a incluso pues amplificar con TaxStone Payments, porque obviamente siendo nuestro procesador de pagos, tú vas a tener muchísima más libertad de hacer pues muchas cosas que otros procesadores de pagos no nos permiten, ¿no? Como cuando pues el cheque se declina o cuando se declina la tarjeta, que nos llegue automáticamente ese mensaje. A veces los procesadores de pago tardan en hacernos saber esta información, ¿no? Pero todo lo que ya tenemos como bloqueo de documentos con facturas, pagos recurrentes, gestión centralizada de pagos, todas esas herramientas ya las tenemos disponibles en TaxDome con los procesadores que utilizamos actualmente. Entonces, todo eso continúa siendo igual. Básicamente, esto es para poderles brindarles un mejor servicio a ustedes y que ustedes pues tengan fees que son más económicos y tener un poco más de libertad dentro de cómo se gestiona lo más importante de su negocio, que es el dinero y cómo se les paga, ¿no? Entonces, ya con esto llegamos a la conclusión. No me quise extender mucho en la presentación, traté de que fuera cortita, informativa, cortita pero clara y concisa, ya que sé que pues este es un día largo para ustedes, tienen muchísimas pláticas, tienen muchísimas presentaciones. Lo quise hacer lo más dinámico y llevadero posible. Pero pues en conclusión, pues nosotros estamos creciendo, la tecnología debe trabajar para ti, no debe trabajar en contra de ti. Y cada actualización que lanzamos desde nuestras nuevas soluciones de bookkeeping hasta taxstone payment tiene un propósito claro, que es ayudarte a ahorrar tiempo, que el tiempo es dinero, a fin de cuentas, ¿no? Y yo siempre he dicho, todo se te regresa, el dinero que uno pierde se le puede regresar, pero nunca nadie nos va a regresar el tiempo. Eso es algo que nunca se nos va a regresar. Entonces, esa es la herramienta que TaxDome te brinda. Sí te ayudamos a ahorrar muchísimo dinero porque reemplazamos muchísimas plataformas y te ayudamos a que tengas un portal para tus clientes, a tener un CRM, a tener todas esas otras cosas que ya hemos mencionado durante otros webinars. Pero lo más importante que te queremos ayudar a ahorrar es tu tiempo. Y como siempre, nosotros a nuestros clientes de negocio siempre les tenemos una oferta especial. Y la oferta especial es para los clientes que agenden una demostración conmigo, que les vuelvo a compartir el link aquí por el chat. Los clientes que agenden una demostración conmigo, se les va a regalar 2 meses adicionales, ¿ok? Al momento de comprar TaxDome, se les van a regalar 2 meses adicionales. Ahora, veo aquí unas preguntas. TaxDome está conectado con Zero. Irma, no, actualmente no tenemos una integración con Zero. Y la razón de esto es porque nosotros somos SOC 2 Certified, tenemos la certificación del IRS, y hay algunas cosas que Zero no es completamente compliant, entonces eso no nos permite tener una integración con ellos, pero ya estamos viendo las opciones para que exista esa integración. Si te soy muy sincero, no va a ser este año. Eh, y veo aquí otra pregunta de Jenny. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo se hace eso? Yo tengo TaxDome y quisiera asesoría sobre eso de la parte contable. Pues Jenny, tú ya si ya eres cliente de TaxDome, dentro de la funcionalidad de TaxDome, te puedes suscribir a Beta. Está dentro de Settings y cualquier nueva actualización que tengamos, tú vas a tener acceso prioritario para que puedas utilizarlo. Muchas de las funcionalidades nuevas que tenemos es que, por ejemplo, incluso ya puedes mandar un documento directamente desde TaxDome hacia tu tax software, que anteriormente no teníamos eso. Entonces, hay muchísimas nuevas herramientas que hemos lanzado. La plataforma creció tremendamente, a comparación de hace un año, que fue cuando estuvimos platicando, ya teníamos bastante sin poder conectar. Y me interesaría, si a ustedes les interesa formar parte de la familia de TaxDome, que agenden una demostración, especialmente ahorita que tenemos pues esta oferta para ustedes de 2 meses adicionales arriba de la suscripción que ustedes elijan. Pero no sé si tengan alguna otra duda, pregunta, sugerencia, algún chisme que me quieran platicar.
Muchas gracias, Franklin.
Muy bien.
Excelente presentación. Ya estamos compartiendo el link que tú nos enviaste sobre el demo, ¿no? La gente que quiera un demo y con la
Claro,
oferta. Déjame, yo le comparto aquí mi pantalla para mostrarles también y también obviamente invitarlos a que hagan parte de lo que es el grupo de TaxDome en nuestra plataforma de negocio. Aquí está, aquí lo pueden ver. Les voy a mandar, miren, tenemos 107 personas aquí, Franklin, en este grupo de TaxDome en negocio para que usted también se una. Déjenme, yo les comparto por aquí, por el chat, los que aún no están, porque lo que vamos a hacer es que allí ya pusimos el link que tú nos compartiste, Franklin. Aquí está, si usted va al grupo de TaxDome ahora, y esto también lo estamos haciendo para la gente que nos está viendo en Facebook, YouTube y LinkedIn, que no está aquí en el Zoom, vaya al grupo de negocio.com, a los grupos, y busque TaxDome. Y aquí está, miren, usted llega aquí, están viendo la plataforma de negocio, ¿cierto? ¿Dónde está el grupo de TaxDome? ¿Me confirman, por favor? Perfecto. Listo. Entonces, usted, ¿sí, sí, sí se ve?
Sí,
Ok, perfecto. Entonces usted llega acá y usted simplemente le va a dar clic. Mire, aquí Ana ya le dio me gusta incluso al post que acabamos de poner hace un par de días. Aquí voy a poner otra vez el link. Mire, aquí está el link para que vaya al grupo de negocio, de Tagdo, y usted aquí puede agendar el demo con Franklin. Como dice Franklin, son 2 meses gratuitos para los miembros, ¿cierto, Franklin? Para los que agenden el demo.
así es. Y más que nada, nosotros lo hacemos con el fin de que ustedes puedan llevar una implementación sana, porque pues TaxDome es una plataforma robusta que ofrece muchísimas cosas. Entonces nosotros no queremos que paguen por algo y les empiece a contar sus meses, ¿no? Entonces esos 2 meses les da pues ese, como dicen, ese colchoncito para que ustedes eh, puedan acostumbrarse al software, que sus clientes también se puedan acostumbrar sin que les empiece a contar de su suscripción que pagaron, ¿no? Porque nosotros cobramos por año, ustedes pueden elegir 1, 2 o 3 años, entonces esos 2 meses se agregan encima de cualquiera de los planes que ustedes elijan, no tienen que elegir uno en particular, es únicamente para nuestros clientes de negocio, entonces sí es importante que si les interesa, agenden por ese link, porque nada más se les está respetando esa promoción a nuestros clientes de negocio. Si ustedes van y agendan un demo a través de el website, el sistema no los va a reconocer como que vienen de parte de negocio, entonces sí es importante que usen nada más el link que se les está proporcionando aquí.
Perfecto, muchas
Disculpe,
gracias. Adelante,
Franklin, ¿puedo
Amanda.
hacer una pregunta?
Claro que
Claro que
sí.
sí.
Yo poco a poco lo he ido aprendiendo.
Ujú.
Recuerde que lo compré el año pasado,
Sí, sí,
pero
sí.
ya los pagos siempre los recibo porque tengo una merchant con el banco,
Ajá,
pero sí me gustaría como ya para el próximo año integrar el sistema ese que ustedes tienen para recibir los pagos. No sé
claro.
cuál entonces es el proceso que tengo que hacer.
Es muy sencillo, Amanda. En cuanto tú estés lista para tomar esa decisión, posiblemente sea el próximo año, tú me puedes mandar un correo. Realmente lo vas a poder hacer directamente desde tu integración, desde settings, pero yo quiero, pues si ocupas guianza de cómo hacerlo,
Ujú.
incluso si tienes dudas acerca de cuáles son los fees y todo eso, pues que también es
Sí,
importante revisarlo, yo
claro.
te puedo mandar más información. Cuando
Ah, sí,
estés
me da
lista
el
para...
favor.
Ajá,
Ujú.
y creo que si tienes mi correo, porque
Sí,
nosotros
sí, yo
tenemos
lo
la
tengo.
sesión.
Sí.
Entonces, cuando estés lista para tomar ese paso, mándame un mensajito y ya yo te puedo mandar un poco más de información.
O sea, ¿qué tiempo demora así como para que hagan la transición y
No,
rápido?
es inmediato, sí,
O sea, podría ser como en enero que se puede hacer o en diciembre.
pues yo te recomiendo que si lo vas a hacer, sea para el upcoming tax season,
Ajá.
eh, sí, o sea, que pase porque la tax season más dura que tenemos es febrero y marzo, ¿no? Por enero, febrero y marzo.
Sí, sí,
Pues marzo ya,
correcto.
ya estamos un
Desde
poquito más
enero.
ocupados,
Ujú,
desde enero. Siento yo
ujú.
que como es la más pesada que tenemos, la hagamos después de eso, porque el adaptar de tu nuevo sistema durante tax season puede que
No, sí,
pues,
por
sí.
eso. O sea, eso es lo que quiero hacer. Si lo hago
Ajá,
desde ya que ya estoy, sí, que ya terminó la temporada y todo para, o no sé, sí,
sí,
porque
pues
ya
mira,
sería para la otra temporada. ¿Ah?
sí, mándame un mensajito y ya yo puedo mandarte más información
Ok, está
y
bien.
ya comparamos cuáles, por ejemplo, incluso puede que hasta tú digas, bueno, pues me gusta más Stripe o CPA Church, o sea, ya viendo tú de cuáles tienen los rates más bajos que te convenga a ti, a diferencia de lo que estás pagando actualmente con el banco. Y
Ah,
uno de los
bueno.
beneficios que también se tiene, Amanda, así rapidito, porque hace que nos estamos pasando de tiempo aquí, disculpa, Antonio, eh, también los processing fees, lo que te permite hacer TaxDome con nuestros merchants es que se los puedes pasar al cliente. O sea, en vez
Mm,
de que tú los pagues, porque muchas veces nosotros estamos comiéndonos, estamos absorbiendo ese pago, ¿no?
sí, nosotros nos
Entonces,
toca pagarlo.
sí,
Ujú.
y ese, súmale ese 2 a 3% por cliente, ahí va sumando y sumando y sumando. Entonces, ahora, nosotros vas a un establecimiento a a tomarte un café y te dicen, si pagas con tarjeta de crédito es 2% más. Ah,
Eso.
ya,
Ujú.
ya, ya, ya ahorita ya está muy, muy normalizado eso. Entonces, eso mismo puedes hacer ahora ya con TaxDome y con cualquiera de nuestros merchants que utilicen. O sea, si el cliente elige pagar con tarjeta de crédito, le va a decir al cliente, oye, va a ser un 2% fee extra. Ok. If you do it through ACH, it's a dollar or 75 cents, depende, ¿no? Pero
Ah,
ya el
ok.
cliente ya sabe y tú ya no absorbes ese cargo. Entonces, es uno de los beneficios también que estamos brindándoles a los clientes con eso. Y eso es sin importar el merchant que tú utilices, no tiene que ser TaxDome Payments.
Ok, Frankie, te escribo entonces, gracias.
Sí,
Ok.
sí, espero tu mensaje. Muchas gracias y un placer estar con ustedes el día de hoy.
Muchas gracias, Franklin, muchas gracias, Amanda. Y bueno, muchas gracias también al equipo de TaxDome que también estaba por aquí acompañándonos. Muchísimas gracias a Natalia Carzón también, que es del equipo de TaxDome. Y bueno, gracias a todos ustedes en esta tarde de tecnología para negocios. Vamos a tener TaxDome, vamos a tener Instant, vamos a tener diferentes herramientas tecnológicas para su negocio de impuestos, de contabilidad, todo lo que necesita para la próxima temporada. Y bueno, y recuerden que viene Tax ahora el próximo 5 y 6 de noviembre, que es Tax. Es un programa de entrenamiento en actualización de impuestos para ustedes, para su próxima temporada de impuestos. Vamos a tener el día 1 lo que es impuestos individuales y el día 2 lo que es impuestos corporativos. La opción es hacerlo presencial, pero también hacerlo de manera virtual en Houston, Texas, ese 5 y 6 de noviembre. Y la invitación es a que todos nuestros miembros participen de este Tax Update que vamos a hacer para que pueda usted capacitarse para la próxima temporada. Muchas gracias a todos, gracias Amanda, gracias Frankie, a David, a José, Natalia también que está por aquí acompañándonos, Girla, Mónica y a todos los que nos vieron y a todos los que nos acompañaron también en Facebook, YouTube y LinkedIn. Nos vemos pronto, hasta luego, feliz tarde, gracias por todo, chao.